I had, say, speed and I had support and everything, but I didn't believe fully in myself.
Jamie Chadwick, Aston Martin, wins again.
How does it feel to have sort of the responsibility being quite a big role model for women in motorsport?
Every now and then you're like, oh, I don't want to let, women down by doing a bad job.
Jamie Chadwick is an INDY NXT winner! The first female to win in 15 years.
And I was having like my little bowl of cereal watching the screen, and I just saw the wheel fall off our car down the Mulsanne straight.
Hello and welcome back to a very special episode of the Quadcast brought to you by Hilton. We are here in Singapore supporting Lando this weekend. We've got our own little mini studio set up here at the Conrad Marina Bay, and we are here with Jamie Chadwick. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our little podcast. How are you doing? How's the jet lag, first of all?
The jet lag's fine because I've been in Asia until coming here. However, bit of a problem because we stay on European time here. So
yes.
Actually, I don't really know how I'm going to...
You're actually probably going to have the opposite effect.
You actually need to adjust.
Exactly. Everyone else's jet lag's probably...
Yeah, because I feel pretty fine, actually.
Yeah, I did yesterday.
Okay.
But have you been getting up late?
I pretty much stay on European as well when I'm here.
So that's
easier.
The ideal, whereas I'm going to get up at like 7 a.m.
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Not ideal. We have nice sleep, have a nice relax.
I would do, but then we don't finish work until like 2-3 a.m.
Yeah, this is going to be a busy week for you.
Yeah,
really
it's
quite
not looking
busy.
good, actually,
Exactly.
a bit of positivity in here.
Yeah, I mean for us it's going to be great. I'm having a lovely time so far.
Food's fabulous, weather's alright. So
it's pretty great.
Nice hotel room, you're all good.
I know, sorted. Because you do a lot of travelling now, so you're used to hotel rooms.
I am, but I feel like it never gets easier. It never feels better. So like when you do find like hotels you like or places you like going, it's like such a novelty because when you go to new places and you pick your favourites. But yeah, I feel like Singapore's one I really like, so I'm happy to be back.
Feels like home a little bit, and you can settle in and chill yourself out before you got to do what you got to do, because you do a lot. Mm-hmm. Should we get into what you do?
Let's go for it.
Where do we start?
Yeah, you've been quite busy. Yeah.
Getting busier. I keep feeling like I'm starting to like do less, but then I look at my calendar and it just gets busier and busier, but I'm not complaining.
Well, so should we go back to where you started? Where did the love of motorsport, where did that come from?
Kind of randomly, to be honest. I always say a bit by accident, and it was by accident. I never knew much about motorsport growing up, never wanted or expected to be a racing driver. It was just purely my older brother started go-karting. I then followed him into it. And then I was like not a very good go-karter, didn't do a huge amount, never did European Championships, World Championships, anything like that. Very low level, but just loved it. And then there was so many more opportunities, like as I sort of came into the sport, particularly for young girls and young women, that I kind of just followed that pathway. Then I ended up winning a scholarship that gave me a season in Domestic Juniors, which was kind of like the biggest sort of turning point for me early on, and then it kind of just went from there really. And like I say, I kind of just kept benefiting from a lot of these sort of different initiatives for women in the sport especially. And crazy now looking back, because I really wouldn't have expected to have got anywhere near this point.
This means maybe there's hope for me, because I'm really bad at go-karting.
That's fine.
Like
I
really
think,
bad.
well, maybe
I
Please
never want
be
to deny
positive.
people, but I just would
Please
say
be positive.
quite late, quite old.
Not that.
What do you want to achieve though?
I think I'm the youngest here.
Okay, I got to be very careful. What do you want to achieve? You want to go to F1?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Bit too late.
No, but the ambition is there, and I feel like
true. There you go. That's the other side.
Ambition's there.
Exactly.
I can dream.
You
But
can
when you say
dream.
bad,
You can dream.
why bad?
Oh, it's just really hard.
Yeah, it's
Go-karting's really hard, and it's just stupid. It doesn't feel like a car because you sat over it. The steering's
Go-karting's the
weird.
best.
Go-karting is
karting.
hard.
It is tough though, really tough.
It is
So-
funny, like, because I just think back, I'm not saying you have to get into it when you're young, but it does help getting into any sport when you're young, and I was relatively late, but I was 12, so still young enough to be able to kind of enjoy it, pick it up without, I guess it's like the fear as well, everything when you're a kid, it's just easier.
So then you made the transition to proper cars. What was that like?
It was cool. I think I actually suited cars better, driving styles wise.
Some people do this
so
happens. You
positive.
get some people in karting that are like phenomenal, European champion, world champion, like, this guy's going to be amazing. They get to single-seaters and it doesn't click, and then they, like, slowly disappear.
Well, I say single-seaters then became a different challenge, but, like, the Ginetta Junior car suited me well, but I didn't have the, like, foundation or basis of, like, high-level karting, and I think that was a bit of a challenge, because then, like, mentally you're up against world champions, like, people that have come from such a high pedigree, and the actual, like, racing them at that level, even though I felt naturally a bit more comfortable in the car, actually was quite challenging.
And I guess with the go-karts, you learn the craft of racing, of being on track with other people, lines, etc. It doesn't really matter what you're in.
It's tough, you get pushed about in karting.
Yeah, sure.
But once you get to cars, the racing's a bit more respectable, I'd say, compared to karting.
Karting,
you just get absolutely destroyed, but that's really where you learn all the basics that are so important later on.
Exactly, and that's what it was for me. I sort of started in karting and kind of rushed that process a little bit, went into cars, and then the racecraft, everything caught me out a little bit. But still, those years in Ginetta Juniors were so fun, because you're 14-year-old kids
It's a
just
cool
driving
series,
around.
It's mad.
It's great to watch. It's so good to watch.
Yeah, just absolute chaos. And then it was GT stuff for you next?
Yep. So then went into the British GT Championship. So I was 16 or so from Ginetta Juniors. And that was really cool, because that was, again, like, completely... I never really had a pathway as such. I don't think it's the kind of obvious trajectory. But it's quite fun in a way, because it kind of just that's where it took me career-wise. And yeah, it was really good fun, like I say. So the first year we did was with Aston Martin in GT4 with my teammate Ross Gunn, which we won, which was really cool. And then second year I was prioritising A-levels, which is quite funny to me now, because I don't feel like I'm still confused by why that decision happened. But yes, supposedly really happy that happened. And then I went into single-seaters after that.
So you're juggling school at the same time?
Yes.
Did you go to Cheltenham College?
Yes.
I went to Malvern College.
Oh, did you?
I was down the road.
Marlborough or Malvern?
Malvern.
Ah.
So I was down the road from you.
We'll have a few mutuals.
Yeah, interesting. Good to know.
How old? You're younger than...
I'm 25.
Wait, you're 25?
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
Why are you shocked?
No, because in my head I thought you were older than me when you said 25, and then I realised I was 27.
I called you old.
No.
I didn't mean you were old earlier either. I'm older, so
I'm really
it's
struggling
fine.
here.
I just for some reason
old.
thought I was 23 in my head, and I was
I
like,
don't think
not.
you're 23. I've done my research.
Yeah, 27.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
gosh.
you can throw it back, it's fine.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Dish it out. We're older.
Yeah.
You can dish it back. You can dish it back.
So this is all when you're like 16, 17, 18. So then what of the last nearly 10 years?
Yeah, it's scary. Those 10 years
And
have
you're-
gone real fast.
But you're still racing and you're still doing very well. Like you haven't... Because we were saying how everyone does it so young. Like you have to get into racing so young, and then you kind of peak, and then you're just still going.
Yeah, like I look back and I'm like, crikey, how like the last 10 years gone that quick.
Yeah.
Like it's actually kind of scary, because it has been so fast, and yeah, you pack a lot into those years in racing, which is I guess why you kind of have to do it when you're young, because you've got a lot to do. But yeah, I've been really lucky. I think W Series was really cool for me, because that was kind of the first sort of big championship that kind of gave me this sort of leg up, and then went over to the US for a couple of years, which was a lot of fun.
Wow.
And then now I'm in endurance racing, so a little bit more left field, but I think that's a pathway a lot of drivers take a bit later on in their careers anyway, and it feels like now it's a really nice fit for me at this sort of time in my career.
So when you went from GTs, that was then from GT, and then I'm guessing you went to W Series, right?
I did 2
Or was
years
you
actually.
Did the F4, right?
British F3.
Yes. F3.
British F3. So it's like what GB3
What do they
is
call it
now.
I get confused.
Yeah,
Probably BRDC
GB3.
F3 when you did it, maybe. Or
Yeah,
British
did you?
F3.
I feel like so you would have been in British F4.
I did F4, and then I did Formula Renault.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went from British GT into British F3, which sounds like F3 makes it sound like I think a higher level than it was, but
Yeah, it's like
yeah, I know.
I'm
Yeah.
confused.
this British F3 car's like sort of under the actual F3. It's there's some
Above
like
F4
yeah.
but under F3.
Okay,
And
got
you did
you.
MRF as well. You won the championship.
Yes.
How was that experience? Out
That
there?
was really cool. That was like quite a big like turning point, like personally, because I think that was like a big sign. So I loved that, because you go through these sort of car racing championships, and when you're in go-karts, you're constantly in a car, you're driving all the time, and then you go into cars and you don't really get that experience. And so I went and did this championship called MRF, which is a championship is based around the Middle East. So you've got few races in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, India. India was a bit of a laugh. That was
Yeah,
an
interesting,
experience.
isn't it? Yeah.
Did you do Chennai?
Yeah, I did one race in Chennai, yeah.
All I remember was it was like, if you go off, just stay in your car because there's snakes.
Snakes, crazy.
Shut
That's like we'd all watch the onboards, just be snakes flying off the front wing. And they're like really dangerous snakes as well.
Wow.
So it was definitely a fun weekend.
It's a little extra challenge.
The traffic on the way to the track.
Oh,
as
it's
well.
wild. But they had like 5 races. So you get out the car, you literally have like a quick chat with your engineer or whatever and get back in the car. And so I just loved that because it just gave me loads of seat time. And then it was a bit of a breakthrough personally because that's kind of the first thing I won in single seaters. And then W Series came after that.
How was your time in W Series? And obviously you spoke about it got you a leg up. How many doors did that actually open once you'd won those championships?
Were you the first was it the first series?
Yes.
Wow, that's quite big.
Yeah, I mean, it was really weird because I sort of was in this phase where I'd done a couple of years of single seaters at the time. So to be honest, it was like quite perfect timing for me to go in to perform because I was the most fresh. I had the most fresh experience at that kind of level. But I remember when it was first announced, I always say this, like, I was like, that's a terrible idea. Like an all-female championship. Like, it's a really bad idea. And then you kind of learn more about it. And then it was actually really cool. Like, I think the reception and the sort of positivity around it surprised me a lot. And then the first year we supported the DTM championship and then it went on to supporting F1. So that kind of gave me the role with Williams F1 on their young driver program. And yeah, I think in terms of doors that opened, sort of falsely or not, like from a personal point of view, it's completely transformed my career. So it almost felt a bit weird and wrong initially, but in reality, I think, definitely wouldn't be in this position without it.
Do you see more upside to that series now than downside?
I think I do, because I think everything and anything we're doing is a positive. And yes, there's the downside of, okay, you're not competing against the best, you're not competing against men, which ultimately women want to do, or eventually down the line. And I get that downside, but ultimately the upside of it in terms of how much it's encouraged more women to get into the sport, the opportunities it gave women in the sport. I think W Series now, again, falsely or not, it's given careers to probably half the grid. And so on that side of things, I would say definitely more positives than negatives. But now it's kind of trying to like work on maybe where the negatives were and try and like
just
find
kind
a
of
happy
perfect
balance.
it a bit more.
Exactly.
But I think, for me, the biggest positive of it is it's there, and the younger girls in motorsport now that maybe want to try karting, they can see that and aspire to it, and it gives them that kind of motivation to, I'll give karting a go because these girls are all doing it. So I think that's the biggest thing of getting more girls in it young and just actually trying it out, because there's just the numbers compared to the guys, it's just not there.
Exactly, and it's going to be a process, but that's it, it's just numbers. And it's like if you look at go-karting, it's getting a lot better, but it's starting to, it's still so heavily male dominated. So I think that will make a huge difference. And then I think the long-term dream obviously is you've got like loads of women competing in Formula 3, Formula 2. I think you look at Formula 1 and even Formula 2 and how competitive it is. Like you've got like this percentage of racing drivers in the world, but across the board, even in endurance racing, it would be cool to see a lot more women for sure.
100%. Yeah.
Talk us through endurance racing, because that sounds very cool.
It is cool. I'm really enjoying it actually. So it kind of is what it says on the tin. It's long endurance races.
Really hard work.
It's very different because it's like it's a team thing. So it's great in a way because it's that whole saying, like you're obviously so used to wanting to beat your teammate, and now you're
working together.
Exactly.
I wouldn't know how do you like change your mindset? Because obviously racing, it's like it's so selfish.
Yeah.
You're out there, you're at the track, even though you're with your teammates, they're the people you want to beat the most.
Yeah.
And then obviously everyone else, it's such a selfish game. And then you've obviously got the endurance where you're then got other drivers on your side. So
the biggest thing that was weird was winning and losing as a team in a way, because especially the first few races, like you don't necessarily feel like you have had a great performance sometimes, but you end up winning. But then you don't personally feel that satisfied with it, but then ultimately the result has been there, and then vice versa. I could have the stint of my life and then you don't end up winning or you don't get a result, and so that feeling is something that's taken a bit of time to get used to, but it's cool. I mean, it's an incredible part of the sport, I think, and what I think is so great about the sport is there's so many different disciplines and different elements of it.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you
I just
go
want to
for
ask.
it.
I always wanted to ask this. You know when you do like an amazing stint,
Yeah.
so you don't need to name names, no.
I mean,
no
amazing is
certain
a push,
event,
but like
just a great stint that
Yeah.
you're like, that was mega, I've made up a load of time. And then your teammate goes out and just like ruins.
Drops it.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
Are you
That would
fuming?
really annoy
So
me.
I have to be very conscious of the fact that I have many a time. I've not dropped it yet this year, but like I've not done always my best stints like
Yeah.
early in the year, and they've clawed it back for me. So I
Okay.
have to have perspective.
I just mean, like,
of-
say
yeah.
if it happened, how would you deal with that?
Just
Just-
throw my gloves at them,
Yeah.
walk off and be like,
Be
that's
like,
it.
what are we
Never
doing?
going to speak to you again. Although, to be honest, I've got amazing teammates. So I've
Yeah.
got Danny and Kadea, and then a
Okay.
young French guy
Okay.
called Matisse, and they're both superstars. So I'm really lucky. But I can imagine if you've got someone a bit difficult and you say made the mistake, it'd just be horrendous
Yeah,
walking
it'd be
back to the
annoying.
garage. I'm
Like,
like, "Ooh."
Hours of effort
Yeah.
put in.
Could. Yeah, that must be weird suddenly having to work as a team, having done it on your own. And other drivers, I feel like drivers are all so different. Like the way they work, the way they prepare, the way they drive is so different.
Exactly, and then there's always a bit of a compromise with that as well, because you're all driving the same car. So
Yeah,
you've
the
all
setup,
does-
some
how
guys
does the
must
seat
love
work?
pointy.
Yeah, that's wild. So for, where was it, Le Mans, we had Andre Lotter in the car, and he's a big guy,
Yeah.
and I'm not a big guy. And so you just have these, it's a compromise for everyone basically, like he's basically got
So
everything a little
no
bit
one's
uncomfortable.
comfortable.
I think maybe
Nice.
that's what they're telling me, because I feel uncomfortable, and everyone's like, yeah, so are we. They're fine. But
They get in there
yeah.
like, lovely.
Yeah, this is
This is so
good.
nice. Tailor-made.
No, but I think the one thing endurance racing reminds you a little bit of, to a much, much smaller scale, but maybe in like the top class at Le Mans it's maybe similar, is like the Ryder Cup, where you've got people that you're always competing against, and then suddenly you're all part of this
Sure.
team,
Yeah.
and then it's actually almost more pressure and more stressful because you don't want to let anyone down. So maybe there's a little bit of that in there.
Because did you do Le Mans this year?
Yes.
Sick.
Epic, yeah,
Sick.
really cool.
How's the sleep work there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
knackered, man.
tough. Yeah, I
Guess
mean,
the adrenaline gets you through it a bit, but
adrenaline gets you through it once you're awake. But I remember being told, so I was like packing my bag, because you sleep in these like containers, or every team has something different, but I was staying in motorhome for the whole week, and then basically during the race you're just in these containers so they can wake you up, do whatever they need to do in between the race, and so I was packing my bag for going to where I was sleeping, and I was like packing my pajamas, packing everything, like had like a neck thing, had like an eye mask, and Stuart, my boyfriend, said don't get too comfortable, because when they wake you up at like 2 or 3 a.m, if you're really comfortable you are not going to want to get up.
Yeah, fair.
And I was like, okay, good advice. So first stint finished, got out, got some sleep, stayed in like more or less like my Nomex, didn't really try and get comfortable, woke up easy, no issue. And then second stint, I was like 3 a.m. I was like, right, I'm going to get some good sleep here. Got comfortable. Honestly, being woken up was the worst thing in the world. I was like, nope, no, I'm not doing this. This is horrendous.
And then you have to like hype yourself back up
I was
again.
just like really questioning what I was doing. I was like, this is
Hold
awful.
on.
Yeah. Do you need me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
send
Yeah.
that back out, will you?
Anyway, and it was worse because I woke up, got myself ready, felt good, and then I was having like my little bowl of cereal, watching the screen, and this was at maybe like 5-6 a.m, so sunrise was just coming up, and I just saw the wheel fall off our car down the Mulsanne Straight.
Oh no.
Yeah, and we just got up to like second, I think, at that point. So
And that was the end of...
that was it. Done.
I was there.
Were you?
Yes. I was in a roof tent on top of my Range Rover.
Oh, nice. I thought you were going to say a rooftop on top of...
It wasn't that glamorous, no.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
It's cool.
And I stayed like in the middle of the, like in the track, so very loud.
You probably got less sleep than
I did not get a
Yeah.
lot of sleep.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but I didn't have to drive, so.
No, but I think that's harder because then you're like, well, you probably feel.
I don't think it was harder.
Yeah,
I
okay,
think
okay.
you had a harder weekend than I did. I'm just going to put it out
Well,
there.
I
That
did
was quite nice.
the 13 hours of Le Mans, so it was not actually the full.
So frustrating though, because it's quite a long week leading up, isn't it? Or is
Really
it 2
long.
weeks?
Yeah, it's-
Qualify the week before, right?
Exactly, it feels
So-
like you're there for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and a lot goes into it. I mean, it's an incredible experience, and
Yeah.
it's funny because everyone's like, "Oh, you just want to finish," and I was like, "No, you don't. You kind of want to get
I
a
quite like to
result."
win.
Yeah. But no, I think finishing is such an achievement in itself, and it's such a test on, because that instance was a mechanic error, but there's so many other things obviously that has to
Yeah.
go into place for
Yeah.
it all to come together, which is
So
beauty of
then,
it.
going over to when you did some racing over in America, how different is racing in America compared to Europe?
It is different. I mean, I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I struggled being in the US for long periods of time, just being away from home. It's very different culturally, everything, but the racing's cool. And yeah, the tracks are mega, the culture's really nice. It's quite a bit more relaxed. I think I struggled a little bit sometimes, having not come from a racing background, with how intense sometimes Europe can be and the pressure to perform. I think sometimes that sort of intensity can stop you from enjoying it. And I think I'm not sure how you found it in Europe, but you kind of go to the US and sometimes that weight comes off. And I mean, I was terrible in my first year. I really struggled, and I was with a top team, had a big sponsor in DHL. Like, it was a lot of eyeballs as well, because I came from W Series and a bit of sort of false perception on where maybe I was going to end up. And so I went in, had a really bad first year, and the team over there were like, don't worry, we'll go again tomorrow. Like,
just chill.
Look at them. Like, it was just, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, weird.
And then instead of, like, obviously you put so much pressure on yourself, but instead of feeling that kind of relentless pressure from the team, you felt like you were supported, and I think that really helped me develop from one year to the next as well. So I really enjoyed it.
That's nice. Yeah, because for me, I found just the higher up the ladder I got, junior driver F1 team, F3, you're on Sky TV, all of this, and it just started to get more and more just unenjoyable and high pressure, especially when, okay, don't get me wrong, you get a podium or a win, you get a great result, you then get reminded why you do it and you love it. But when the times are bad, it really felt like a chore rather than, I love racing. And it's so easy to forget why you love it and why you started, because you just get so sucked into this F1 dream. You look at the paddock, everything's right there, and you get so tunnel visioned. You don't ever take a step back and go, actually, what I'm doing is really cool, and let's just enjoy this.
And that's the thing, you need that stage. You're not professional, and you're not got the pressure of someone paying you the whole time to be like, you should just, obviously you need to perform, and there is a pressure with that, but you should also be like, I'm a kid still that's trying to enjoy this. So yeah, I think that was quite nice about going there. I think it has shown me how, on the flip side of that, the intensity of Europe is so valuable as well, because I think there's so many of the drivers that go over. Is that lightning?
I'm just going to let everyone know that we're experiencing a thunderstorm, essentially. I've just seen lightning.
Big lightning. And there's a concert down there.
And there's a concert.
I think the Backstreet Boys, like Jamie said, just down there.
Yeah,
so.
and there is
there's a lot going on this F1 weekend. So.
Rain. But it's an F1 weekend, you know, it's bound to be hectic and chaotic.
It's just beginning as well.
We are in the heart of it.
It's quite cool, isn't it?
It's a bit moody.
Apologies for any things you hear in the background.
Yeah, it's going to sound a bit strange.
We're in the thick of the fun of an F1 weekend in Singapore, so...
I feel like the world could be ending.
I do feel like we're...
I don't think it's meant to be night time yet, but it does look night time. Yeah, it's actually 2 p.m. Just had lunch. Right,
so you've done a lot of disciplines then when it comes to motorsport. You've kind of... Because you did Extreme E.
Yeah, I did a few races of Extreme E.
What's that? That's like a whole different...
Why did you do
that? Great question. No, I actually really enjoyed it. And so the premise of Extreme E, for those that don't know, is you have one male driver, one female driver. And it was so different and, wildly as a concept, different to anything, I think, being done in motorsport. Yeah. And so I was managed by Veloce as a group, and the guys there said, oh, yeah, we're going to get an Extreme E team. And I was like, cool, okay. And they're like, and we want you to be our driver. And I was like, right, okay, that's never going to happen. And then it actually did happen. And I was like, shit, I've actually got to follow through with this. And then we went and did the first few tests, and I really enjoyed it, because it's like, that is mental.
That is
very loud.
Thunder.
But I never done any sort of rallying or off-road stuff. So it kind of gave me the opportunity to go and do testing and stuff like that, which was really cool. But then honestly, like the first race and everything was so intense. It was like, these like 10, 12 kilometre stretch, but you don't know it, so you're blind. And then it's just like risk versus reward. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. We got a podium in our second race, I think it was, which was cool.
So cool.
And nice to learn a different discipline. I think mindful to me that, you definitely can't do everything. I think you have to specialise in something. Yeah. But that's actually, I saw about Leah, because she jumped in that Extreme E car. She was like 16 or something, maybe even younger at the time, and she was epic, like so good. And I was like, if she can do that, she can definitely drive anything. Yeah. And so that's where, from a Williams perspective, we got the kind of idea to try and put her in the F1 Academy car, and that's where that went.
Because that's something you're doing a lot now. You look after you're with Williams and you look after the junior drivers, don't you?
Yeah, so mainly just the F1 Academy side of things. So we brought Leah in a couple of years ago now. Now looking like our next little future female superstar with Williams.
She's
so
very cool.
Yeah,
She's really cool.
Leah is very cool.
Yeah,
She does everything.
yeah, she really does. And that's another thing, I guess, because when you started out, who were you looking up to?
The thing is, like, I started not really thinking about being like a woman in sport. I just did it because I enjoyed it, and I actually look back at a lot of things early in my career, and there's a lot of reasons why I think like I was so oblivious to being one of few women. I just did it because I enjoyed it. I had an older brother that helped. I went to a school that had very few women in the school, girls. Well, yeah, women. Yeah, we have loads of women in there. It's because someone said that you shouldn't say girls, but then girls are girls,
like a girl,
yeah, like a literal girl. So just in my own intrusive thoughts there. No, so there were like 3 other girls in my year at school, so we did sport everything together, and so I was very blissfully unaware for so long. I have no idea where I'm going with this story.
Having someone to look up to, like
so when I got into it, I looked up to like Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button. Those are like the people that I was inspired by when I got into the sport, and for a long time sort of when I started, and then ultimately later down the line you kind of look towards more female specific role models. I was really lucky. Susie Wolf was someone I could always contact.
Nice.
And yeah, it's funny, as I say the story all the time, but I'll go again with it. I was looking for an email from Susie for something recently, and up came an email from like 2014 that I'd sent her, and she had responded, and I was just asking for advice and things, and at that time she was actively, you know, racing in DTM, testing in Formula 1. So it's cool that I was able to have that kind of support network from other female drivers, and now there's so many more, you know, great female drivers. And
I also think that's a benefit of, because obviously still aren't that many women like in motorsport generally, but I do think that is a benefit that you have, that because there aren't that many of you, you do stick together as much as you can. And like, you know, if you'd emailed Lewis Hamilton for some advice, probably wouldn't reply to you.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, you never know.
I haven't gone through my Lewis.
You actually sent him 85 emails.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a restraining order
all to different at Lewis Hamilton.
But no, I guess that is a positive when there's not that many of you. You do kind of have that support network. Like even what I do, which is not nearly as impressive as what you do, but you know, tinkering about with cars and whatever it is. Even with what I do, there just aren't that many women and girls, and as soon as you meet them, you learn so much more from each other, and it is quite collaborative.
I think so. I think that's where people maybe think it's not going to be like that, but it definitely is. But that is like so nice when you meet like-minded people, and that's why it's cool also seeing what you do, and so many other women. Just if you look at like the industry as a whole, there's so many wider kind of roles and sort of different opportunities that when you do come across sort of like-minded people, male or female, it's always quite nice. And I think that's where I just see such a transition of the industry, which is nice.
God, why did
you were like this? I was like,
no, you can go, Max.
Turn.
I've been yapping.
What was I going to ask? You threw me.
Must have been really good.
No. How does it feel to have sort of the responsibility, well, I wouldn't say pressure, but maybe pressure of being kind of the lead figure and quite a big role model for women in motorsport now? How does that feel? How do you deal with that?
That is a big question.
Well done.
Yeah.
I remember.
No, I feel like it's a weird one because I think it's kind of gone through phases where like early in my life and career and whatever, I didn't think at all about it. And then there's definitely this sort of transition phase where I did think a lot about it, and I think namely you kind of go from something like W Series, which is put on a bit of a false pedestal reality, to where it actually is from a sporting element. I think it's realistically an F4 championship, maybe a little bit above that, but still an entry level championship, but with the eyeballs of, you know, a much greater series. So I think in that sense you kind of suddenly find yourself in this position, and then you go into something else and you've got a bit of pressure, and as you know, one of very few women going into something like INDY NXT, every now and then you're like, oh, I don't want to let, you know, women down by doing a bad job, because me doing a bad job is
women.
Me. It isn't our gender. And I think I was definitely very conscious of that, you know, at points in my career. And now I don't think so much about that. I think I'm very aware that there's a lot of other female drivers doing a great job. If I do a good job, great. If not, then so be it. But then I also, on the flip side of that, feel a responsibility to try and now give the next generation coming through a great opportunity, because I think the sport is changing so quickly, and there is the support out there and there is the desire out there to get women to the highest level, and so there is almost like a incentive personally to try and make sure this next generation have that. And so we got this karting series in the UK and things like that.
I was going to mention that. I was reading up about that yesterday, that you have created this series that maybe that's what I need to join.
This is where,
and then I'd be epic.
I was going to say, I didn't want to sell.
No, I'm sell away, because I'm buying.
Well, I think honestly it's basically for anyone and everyone. Like initially when we started it, it was kind of just trying to get as many young girls and women into grassroots level of the sport as possible, just to try it, because without trying it you don't know if you enjoy it and what opportunities there are. And so we started it, and in my head I had this sort of image of there being maybe 6 to 12-year-olds all starting, and we did the first day at Daytona, and there was a range of probably 10-year-olds to 43-year-olds.
Wow.
And initially I was like, oh, okay, maybe we should put an age cap on this, because said 43-year-old probably isn't going to be a professional racing driver. And then I realised actually it's not about having, just professional racing drivers come out of this. It's about creating a community, and suddenly the said 43-year-old's going to bring her daughter, and then she's going to bring her friends, and then you create this ecosystem that allows for so many more people just to try the sport in the first place. So that was kind of the backbone of it, and now it's grown really well over the last year or so, and there is some exciting talent coming through, as well as
really
the community element as well.
That's cool. Maybe that talent's going to be me. It's not too
late.
It's not
I'll
too
give you
late.
some tips.
No, you're not coming. You're not coming.
Why am I not allowed?
Because you're
I want to watch.
aggressive.
Aggressive.
On the go-kart.
I'm not going to drive.
I've literally seen videos of you ramming someone off of the thingy.
No, I've never done that.
Literally
Never.
video.
Never done that in my life.
But there's a little bit of that need, like you just little.
Got to be a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
I have a lot of road rage.
Okay, take it out in the go-kart.
I have a lot of road rage.
There you go. You've concerned me a bit where you say you're terrible in a go-kart. We need to change the mentality.
But
get a bit more positivity in here.
So you've said you're terrible and you have road rage.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking
It's not ideal.
But you'd love to be a Formula 1 driver. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to be Formula 1?
FIA have got their eyes on you now already.
Yeah, blacklisted from the circuit now. Get her away from those cars. So going back to when you were just starting out, what did your family think of this? Because you said you didn't come from like a motorsport background. Did they think, what are you doing?
A little bit, but they're really supportive actually, and still are obviously. Both my brother and I are super lucky that kind of whatever we kind of had the desire to do, they would, where possible, support. And I think I definitely had other sports and things that I was interested in, and they were open to supporting that. I think they were like blown away by what motorsport ended up becoming, because I think when we started it was just this thing we did once a month on a Sunday, and then and they honestly thought that was a reasonably high level, and then suddenly you kind of become
slowly realise it
forget,
just keeps going and going.
If you don't grow up in it or like surrounded by it, I just feel like everyone knows what motorsport is. Like everyone thinks it's a massive like when the F1's on, I'm thinking, yeah guys, like this is massive. And then some of my friends have no interest, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, but guys, like, it's the F1, like this is huge. And they just have no clue. And so I guess if you don't grow up around it, then why would you know about
exactly
that?
And I think obviously naturally, like any parent, like how expensive it becomes, and it's just it's so funny. I remember back to conversations about how much certain things cost in like very, very early days, and thinking like, no, that's ludicrous how expensive that is, and then you'd realise that it actually only goes like tenfold every year. But then on the flip side of that, I think it was always nice having their perspective on things, because I think it still seems weird when you speak to them and they're like, you're living in a cartoon world sometimes, and having that perspective I think is quite grounding in a way. And
nice to be able to step out completely.
Exactly, because they still look at the sport and they love it and they love watching it, and like us are kind of seeing it through a slightly different lens, but also equally from a different perspective, like this is wild. What?
Because where is home for you now? Do you ever go home?
I try and get home as much as I can in between races and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, few and far between.
I imagine that's quite difficult.
So like, what does life look like when you're not? I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole list of everything you do, but when you've got nothing on, what does it look like when you got nothing on? What do you go and choose to do?
I love other sports, so like the very typical. And I feel like it is annoyingly cliche with racing drivers, but golf.
I knew she was going to say golf.
No, that's
I knew
good.
she was going to say golf. I knew it.
Golf.
Paddle.
Oh, you're literally all the same.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like. It's not. Maybe it's an intentional discussion. I find the paddle thing funny because that I think is a racing driver thing, because I think now we've all decided we can play with each other, and then that becomes like a half social thing, half sport thing. But yeah, other sports honestly ends up being what I like doing, and then I would say it's like I don't like being this person, but I love racing, so I love watching. If I have a weekend off, I will watch other series and stuff. Which
what do you like watching? Which one?
Everything. Like
MotoGP.
MotoGP more so now.
Really?
Yeah. Only the last. I mean, I used to watch it when I was growing up. Then I stopped watching it for many years, and then the last couple of years, and then now this year was obviously kind of come back to life, I think, a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah, we went the other weekend.
Did you?
It's just the best, isn't
weekend
it?
has gone?
Went to San Marino.
No, went to San Marino, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Didn't
see Marquez.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, but they're just different breed.
You just you see it in their eyes. I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow, something's different.
Yeah, you're not right.
I've not got whatever he's got inside that head, no way.
Would you ever do two... Wow! Sorry, I was big. Would you ever do two wheels?
It's a good question, because I actually grew up, I spent a couple of years growing up on the Isle of Man.
Isle of Man TT? Terrifying thing.
Absolutely. I was a bit too young to remember like all the specifics of it, but yeah, they used to come past pretty much where we lived. And I think because of that,
crazy.
My dad, and also like you go to the start line and you're literally watching them say goodbye to their families.
Yeah.
I've
quite
heard
traumatic
like one
as a
of
child
them, one of the guys, I don't know if I said this on another podcast, we did talk about it, didn't we? He like mows his lawn, cleans the house, makes sure everything's perfect when he leaves for the race, in case he obviously...
No.
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with people?
That is nuts.
I mean, come on.
Why is that his priority? Like, I would like get my will in
order.
Yeah. Grass. Do the grass. Garden
the grass.
looks good. Happy with that.
One last mow of the lawn.
Hide anything that he doesn't want to be found in his like bedside drawers and stuff.
So maybe two wheels is not for you.
Yeah. So then my dad was like, when we started karting and stuff, he was fine with that, but he was like, two wheels, no go. Even I want a Vespa now, and he's like, not sure about that.
That's the problem with it's always someone else on the road, isn't it?
Yeah,
on a bike,
definitely
especially.
Not me.
It wouldn't be you. What? So what's next then for you?
Next, good question. So Singapore GP,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Physically next. That's how I feel like I think kind of like
straight away
in advance.
Because you're doing a lot of like presenting, chatting,
yapping, yeah. So this is like my first proper year doing like proper broadcasting.
How is that?
It's different. I am enjoying it, but it is weird because like you are very much on the other side. Like you've kind of become a journalist in a way, which is a very different.
You don't feel like a racing driver.
At all. Yeah. And you're kind of interviewing other drivers, and obviously they're Formula 1 drivers, but you're still like, this is a bit.
But it's such an important perspective that you have. Like it's so valuable.
What I enjoy is like really like watching and then delving into like Formula 1, because I think it's.
Do you like the data and all of that?
Yeah, and I think that's quite nice to be able to like actually just see and watch Formula 1 from a slightly different perspective, but it is also a transition. Like you guys doing a podcast, I don't know like if it feels.
I just love yapping.
Well, then you're perfect. You should
Thank you so much.
Well, take my job both on track and.
Definitely taken some time getting used to being now more in the content world than racing. Like the first year I started doing stuff like this, still in my head I'm like, I'm a racing driver.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not anymore. And it was so hard to switch off. I've done it since I was 9 years old. Stopped when I was 21. So to tell myself I wasn't, that was like a hard battle. And I'm not going into that right now, but
No, but
it was a hard switch off, and to try and change, especially because I still love it so much. I mean, lucky I get to still be around it so much, but
it's your. I don't want to say it's your identity, but it's part of me.
It's
part of you, and then But I think that's what's great is staying within it and
Yeah, I
using
think
that.
I'd go crazy if I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm still luckily very close and involved with it, so it's nice. Anyway,
Okay.
enough of me, enough
Glad
of me.
you're- I'm
Enough
glad
of me,
you're
I've Jamie here.
Max needs a minute and we'll be okay. And what is your thought on like the social media world surrounding F1 at the moment?
I think everyone has their way of doing it. I think some people are so natural at social media and so
Yeah.
good at it, and Bianca is incredible at it, and I think she's really found a way to kind of, actually I think it's positive as well because she's promoting the sport,
Yeah.
Yeah.
promoting herself obviously, able to generate what she needs to ultimately do what she wants to do, which is the racing. It comes a lot less naturally to me. Also, I'm nowhere near as in the public eye as I think she's found herself with
Yeah.
the F1 Academy stuff. So I think different things work for different people. I find there's avenues to raise funding in some places. You know, some drivers are fully focused on one thing rather than, you know, other things. But I think it's really interesting now seeing different people do different things.
I think it's
Yeah.
really interesting as well because there are now more women. I mean, it's not hard. There was literally none. So there
We
are
now
a
have
few more.
10.
Now there's like more than
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
which is
Yes,
amazing.
When I was racing karting, from karting to Formula Renault, I raced only one girl. It's the
crazy,
same
isn't
it?
one, Sophia.
That's
No.
nuts.
Yeah,
Just
it's
her.
wild.
But I think now
No
that
one
there's
else.
more, like, you know, more than
I
one.
reckon.
Now
Yeah.
I think it's.
I was about to say, I reckon I've only raced against a few women, but then I did W Series.
yeah, I'd hope it was a few more.
it's a few more.
But I think it's interesting seeing how these women like attack the sport because actually when there's only a very few of you are all lumped together and like you are just women.
Yeah.
You are the women in motorsport, whereas now it's like, okay, you're all very different. Of course you are, like, you're individuals. Like, we don't just say to the blokes, oh, it's just men in motorsport. You're all very different, and it's nice to see you attack it in different ways.
I think so, and I think that's a nice thing. I think the only thing that is challenging at the moment is because there are so few women, and you've got, say, F1 Academy, they're all part of Formula One driver programs. At a very young age, they're thrown into quite a sort of public eye.
Yeah.
And I think the reminder, personally, I think always needs to just boil back down to performance. I think when Max was racing, you're part of an F1 Academy, but you know you just have to perform it every week. If you're not performing, you get dropped, and that's what it is for every male driver in motorsport. None of them will progress if they're not performing, and I think we kind of need to make sure that I guess integrity
Absolutely.
stays even for women,
And also because, like, women want to be taken seriously. Like, this is not joke.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
If you're using social media in the right way, yeah, good, but you've still got to be able to, like, win the race.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
exactly.
what's the point?
And so I think that's what it kind of boils down to. But I admire, you know, everyone that is finding ways to make it in this sport because it's so tough for everyone and anyone.
I think as well, like, we were talking about boundaries and ones you have to sort of knock down. And it's interesting, like, how you see those boundaries. Because, like, I feel like with you, the way, like, just from listening to you, the way you've grown up is just, well, I want to do that, so I'm going to do that. Like, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't. Like, what does it have to do with me being female?
Yeah.
So it's interesting how people tackle it, and maybe the ones that don't see the boundaries are the ones that should be doing it, because you're like, what are you talking about? Of course I can do this.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no boundaries.
Exactly. I think that's, and then any sport or anything, I think if you do get into it when you're young, I think it helps because you're a lot more oblivious to that kind of side of things. And once you're in, I think you're in. Like, if you start in racing and you get the bug,
You're in.
you're aware. And then obviously, like I say, there's a lot of things that need to fall into place to ultimately
But if
make
you have
it.
the skill and you have the ability, then you'll just be confident.
Exactly.
Because as long as you back yourself, then
Yeah, you
you're
look
fine.
at Formula One drivers now, and 90% of them do not doubt themselves, like in any
No.
way.
It's
No,
quite
no,
the
no.
opposite.
Yeah.
I think they know they're quite good at what they
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Which is fair enough. You're in Formula
Yeah,
One. I mean,
you have to. You get to that top level.
Yeah, you've got to be pretty good. I mean, I will be when I'm in.
Yeah,
Formula One,
exactly.
obviously.
Speak from experience.
Yeah,
You're gonna get there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
We're
will.
gonna get you
Yeah.
there.
I know.
Coach you up.
I'm
We're
so
gonna-
excited
It's
to
gonna
be on
happen.
that. Great
Yeah,
out. Yeah, this weekend maybe.
Yeah,
might
well, let's just
it's not gonna
next
happen.
year. Next
It's
year.
not going to happen.
Next year, not with this weather.
I
Yeah.
don't want to go out.
No, it's raining.
It's raining.
So
I
give
don't
it a
want to do
miss.
that.
We'll give it a miss.
What do you think you would tell a younger you, like a 12-year-old you, if you could tell them anything?
Good question. I think I would like to have backed myself more or be more confident. I think especially when I started, in sort of my early years, I think I had, say, speed and I had support and everything to do well, but I didn't believe fully in myself. And then the other one is, I would say, it's a bit cliche, but be yourself, because I think also it's very easy, I always talk about this now, but it's easy to kind of like just try and be one of the boys or try and fit in with everyone, and then you kind of just end up not really being yourself. And I kind of wish that I'd been a little bit more.
I think a lot of girls go one of two ways. I think they either try and be really like the boys or they try and be super like feminine just to kind of counteract it. Exactly. And actually you don't need to be either, just be yourself. You'll be alright.
And if you are, and that's on the flip side of that, if you are super feminine and you want to wear makeup and you want to be like that, that's also great. Like, be you, and if you want to be like in get stuck in with the boys, and that's also great, but just being yourself is what I would say.
So and I think now there's room for both.
Exactly. And I think that's not just for women, I think that's for, I think you kind of see this like carbon sort of model of what people think the perfect racing driver is, and I don't think that
I think it's changing
anymore.
No, it doesn't. So what would you say your kind of long-term hopes are for inclusivity in motorsport?
Great question. I feel like across
really couldn't say.
It was so big.
No, I'd love to see women in like team principal roles, senior engineer roles. I think ultimately, of course, we want to see a woman in Formula 1, but that's also like you're looking at such a small percentage.
They'll be in your karting. She'll be there now.
Well, maybe
in your series.
Oh
my god, it's me!
You need to enter the karting series
45,
first.
Doing a Fernando Alonso.
Team principal, maybe.
Yeah.
Team principal.
No, but I would love to. You know, that's my secret. Do you know? Shall I expose myself?
Oh no.
That's my secret goal.
There you go.
Is it?
Yeah, I really want to be a team
Have you ever
principal.
said it to anyone?
No, and I feel like I've just
now you've manifested
myself.
it. No, I like it. We're going to
get it
manifest
out
it.
there.
It's always been a secret goal of mine to be a team principal.
But this is what, like, these are roles that, without dreaming or wanting to be these roles, like, people realising, I could be.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realise that.
Maybe I can be.
Exactly, there you go.
I don't know a lot.
And then
about
hire
racing.
yourself as the driver.
You're both fired. I'm in.
I've just hacked the system.
Exactly.
I've just hacked it.
The second car's for me if I shunt the first car.
Yeah, there you go.
This is my car and my backup car.
Max can be in the second car.
Yeah.
Get me in.
Yeah.
The team name is Quadron.
Quadron F1.
There you go.
Maybe it's Quadron.
Yeah, just need 400 mil a year.
Lando can be the reserve driver.
No, Lando's going nowhere near it. We're competing against Lando.
Yeah, he's getting sent at turn 1.
Should we ask Jamie our question that we ask every time?
We ask all of our guests this. What is your first memory from motorsport?
My first memory from motorsport would be watching the TT when I was vague memories of it, like patches, but honestly watching that form of motorsport and being like, actually I didn't think I want to do this at that point. I was like, this is nuts. And then first memory in terms of me actually like trying to do something in motorsport was my brother had Toka, the game. It's showing my age, but we're also very age, so maybe it's not so bad, but maybe your audience will be like, what? On PS2, and we played it with the controller, and it's basically the touring car game and doing Silverstone National, and that was my first experience of that. And wasn't great, still room for improvement on that one, but
there is hope for us all.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you were driving it for real.
Exactly. And I remember actually when I went to drive it for real, I was like,
I recognise this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know this one already.
I can do this with my eyes closed. It's easy. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
It's been really good talking to you.
Loved it.
And I'll see you when you're chatting to me when I've just come off the grid.
Exactly. Or in the karting series.
Okay, maybe
we'll
start there.
Yeah.
I'm going to start
there.
Okay,
we'll see
sure.
the karting. Thank
you so much. Thank you.
Thanks again to Hilton and the amazing team at Conrad Singapore Marina Bay for setting up this amazing studio for us and their amazing hospitality.